will go on. I can move it down. Let's see. Lost the minute. There we go. There was a trade report last month. There was really no report from any officers. Polygon changes, don't judge, possible changes. Old for the same old business we've had for the last few months. Game change requests only through God Soccer. Reschedule games within 15 days. Game day forfeit procedures posted on site. And the reminder to send in proof of service for registered cards. Newsly discussed medals and T-shirts. The 11th through 19th would receive a team trophy, and they'd be given a graphic that could be used to create T-shirts, and that way they could get the shirts at the correct size and all that stuff. And the young players, which is 10s and 9s, will get medals. That was it. Motion to approve the minutes?
Second. Favor?
Aye.
So moved.
We'll do executive. All right, close that. The agenda. Now I'm going to try to find the treasurer's report. Okay. Treasurer's report, which I think again. Well, for somebody. We took in $600 in forfeit fines, and our miscellaneous income was cash rewards from our credit cards. As y'all know, I insist that we use credit cards for all purchases, and that is why we get cash rewards. So, like that. The rest have been paid here up through January, because I'll be paying referees for February this month. So that's up through January ref fees and travel fees. Go over and get the balance sheet. We have $221,000 in the bank. That's pretty much it. Any questions? In April will be dispersed on Judd, and there again, all of our expenses are pretty much up to date because I keep the ref assigners all paid, to the end of the month when we did. Okay. What's the agenda?
Hotel with a capital trade.
All right. Second report, Eric Harvey is here. Is anyone with any information? Vice President report, P. Senior Boys, that's me. I have nothing to report at this time. V. Boys, Mike Connell, he's also not here. VP Girl, Steve Emerson, he's not here. Liaison report from Carlos, he's not here. And the liaison report from Carl.
Just want to remind everybody of the DOC meeting on April 13th, Sunday, and I hope that every club will send a representative to the. Then when we discuss any that maybe went wrong in the season and we could improve on, remember it's your input that this league work, and that just stays at where we are now, and there are some problems, and we need to talk about it. We need to find solutions to make it better. Week to week organization of the games, and we need to come up with some solutions. So I hope every club send a representative so we can do something productive and make the league better. Thanks.
Past president report?
Hold on. No.
No, at the, there is a chance to eat at the coaches meeting. 1 to 5. Put it on the website. Post it, so we will send out a reminder. The reason we can't have it here is there's not enough parking. The rate, there's no parking. So since they can't guarantee us parking, we have to go up. And reminding the scheduled games, the rainouts and field closure within 15 days. The sport ticket got soccer. And I will add that because we've had one team say that the game was scheduled without their approval, we now require sport tickets from both games. That's the reason why one game was scheduled, some team that the other team approved, but the team they didn't approve. So now sport tickets are used. And that's the reason your team asked why. That's the reason. There's a bunch of unplayed games, and we haven't heard, and they were supposed to be scheduled in 15 days. Not played 15 days, but scheduled. And there's a lot of unplayed games. These back to August, the hurricane days. And season ends March 31st. And March 31st, if they're not played, they won't get played. What happens in that case if they don't play? There's no game. There's no game. Yep, they're going to get to play.
And if you remember, this was the DOCs that SDOC meeting agreed with this and came up with that extension. This is for senior teams and the younger age groups. Because of high school and stuff like that. So we expect some March 31st. Next DOC meeting, you can change that.
They wanted a spring season so the teams could have more games, so that's what we did. Just teams were very proactive in setting their schedule up, and some were very lazy. You know, only so much we can do. Game more procedures are posted on the USA website. Grant applications are due in 2 days on March 14th. No entries will be accepted. That's something, if somebody's having a problem entering it, they need to email me or they're having trouble, and we will endeavor to assist them. And if there's somebody that can't get it in and has contacted Sherry and I and has sent us enough information, that's ones that we're going to allow after March 14th because we're going to put it in for them. They're only having difficulty with the website. I think out of all of them, we've only got one that's having difficulty, and I think it's something they're trying to upload. On the 14th, it's shut down. So they're really sending it in late. It'll be complete. It's got to be sent in by the 14th. No excuses, because they haven't contacted Sherry or I about a computer problem. We're not accepting late entries. I need to send in proof of service for send-off, so the red plate can be updated. I think pretty good, right, Sherry? We seem to be in now. It's just like the old stuff. Yeah, the stuff we're still having trouble with, but the new stuff, they seem to be paying attention. Sherry sends out a memo saying, so was ejected, and she sends it to every one of the board members in that club and explains the procedures. And in the fall, it's amazing how many clubs got the email and just ignored it and didn't realize they had to turn in the prevention, but now they're starting to do it.
The teams have participated in Regions Cup. Note with the staff, the FYSA staff, and they're pretty good. We've about having the red card site updated, but any at that desk will be happy to either go up on one of your game report rosters that served the card. Or take a picture of it. We had somebody take a picture of it that they
That
served
works.
it. We're happy with that because you could just send that right over.
Yeah, smart are wonderful, I know.
Ironically enough, the first round there were 67 red cards.
I did her as of last night, so if you see something on there that you think is taken care of, just send me the report.
The first round was in the beginning of February, so probably this weekend. I think we only had like 60, something like that.
Winter awards, medals and trophies to be distributed at the April meeting, or the contact Sherry, on-range pickup. T-shirts will be mailed to the division winners. Did you decide on the flyer? Yeah. I was just waiting to get the trophies. I should have them by the end of this week, and then I'm gonna send out.
Can you shoot me the email with the logo and I can put it up on the screen? I won't have to dig through my email today, everybody's getting all my emails.
I just didn't want to send it out till I had everything, and then I help people, because then if they want to start.
Yeah, but just send me the logo right now, I'll put it up on the screen.
And the annual DOC meeting scheduled for April 13th at the Sheraton Tampa East. Any other new business?
I think everything I've got here is for the executive session.
Business. Weekend.
Anything for the good of the game?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's all right.
And I'll dust the logo up here in just a second.
Take a second.
Just send it?
Just a couple, maybe. Finals are this weekend for region.
Am I close?
First round.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a while.
First round.
Came in.
Yeah, I'll put that on.
It's the fire one, right?
Yeah. That'll be the champion shirt for this season.
The board did. Sharon got the design done, and then she got a couple of choices, and then the board, great. Yeah, I like it.
It says league champion. I'm expecting it to be division champion. Anybody have any opinion about that? I wasn't worried, I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think you can change it.
Opinion only.
Yeah, that's good. We're gonna grab it, contact, arrangement with a printer. So obviously, the more volume that you get done, the cheaper the shirts can be done. So we'll put in his contact information, and then you can contact him. If you want to, if your size, then he will have them printed and delivered. And the price will vary, obviously, we're hoping that everybody wants printed, and do that drops your price a little bit. And they is also providing those trophies. At the end of the week, I live in Brandon. If anybody wants to call me, meet me somewhere, they be sharing all that in the next meeting. Once you are for sure that,
Once, yeah, posted it once, the season. I mean, some divisions we know we're done because they don't have any more games. There's so many stragglers that we've got listed to deal with in executive session. I don't know where we stand. I think so. Just a minute. Here's the agenda. I'll send this stuff eventually. So want to adjourn? Or anything else? Anything else I've got for the executive session?
Business. Any questions?
Anybody have any new comments? With that, motion adjourned. All in favor? Aye. So, very much. You broke the record. Okay, we'll 5-minute break, and we'll start executive. Yeah, just ordered on Groupon. The flip case with the keyboard. I'll get the virtual keyboard.
Well, you can use that keyboard.
Yeah,
And all the game issues are gonna be in the executive session.
Oh, you wanna have it like that?
Because we don't have to.
Mr. Technology, right?
But you want
But I-
No, he's behind. He just got that.
we'll let people know what his position is.
No, I had my Android way back.
Now you're gonna then update to the iPhone 6. And you have it.
If the iPhone 6 is what they say it is,
It's gonna have a larger screen. It's gonna have the Sapphire glass.
well, I saw that.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fine. Freaking hell. I mean, I had a laptop for 1.5 years until it broke. I had Android until I could get any more updates. I mean, it's just freaking nuts because they have like whatever, like it was the Galaxy 4, and now they update and you
Yeah, this is the new one. This is no, this is the Droid, the Droid
Well,
Max.
X at the Mac. Okay, well, it's the Droid X Max. Yeah, I know.
Motorola
Right.
Droid Max.
The problem that I have, and I don't know, I mean, I guess it depends on where you are. If you're with AT&T or Verizon, then you can't get the freaking updates anymore. You know, it's like, this is bull.
I can't get half a year. This Razer. My wife can get them. Like the operating
Understands. But it's like Verizon, for example, they put a lot of stuff in front of it. So when they update, they can't have them updated because otherwise they would change it.
It's all about money, you know.
Right. So yeah, I see. Well, the thing is, no, I still have to be 4. Okay, this is my 3rd year, but I can get any updates that comes in. I can get all the way to iOS 8. I mean, they support every 3 years. So, like I say, when I had the Androids, I had it for half a year. It was late.
It is what
Because then I went off, and now everything.
I can't pull out the participant stuff, I don't know why. I normally can pull the participant stuff, and I can't.
Like on the
I
calendar.
don't know what
I mean, I did it in once, and I have it on all of my.
I bought my wife
Yeah, but it won't work for me, I'm pressing on it, it's not,
Oh yeah.
for Christmas, because her birthday is Christmas.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know why.
She was due for a new phone.
Oh, there it is.
Maybe last month,
Yep.
I was due for one,
What?
and I still like the Android because I could root it.
Yep,
But
it's you.
I wanted this.
That's okay.
So I wanted to start with this because I got my Windows 8. You heard me.
I know. Oh, that's the problem.
It was a pain in
Problem
the
is
ass.
when
I had
the
reset
camera-
that machine at least 10 times.
It won't pull up that
With
camera.
this,
It won't pull up this
by the
camera.
end of the week, I'll get the pad. I'll be able to put it in the new case, fold it over.
And then this is
I've got
my
a
list.
case already.
I just let them make
Raw,
sense.
$3.
I'll pull things up on here, you know, the information, so just,
But even with this,
yeah.
because
Just let
this
you
is
know
the,
Just
this
let-
is
that's
the new
what all this
Yeah,
is.
the Retina.
the Retina with the M7.
Right. With the news, with the chair.
And it's got an update for this. I can use this to pick this up. Okay? I really don't want to, like, some, like my desktop at home, that's private. That's probably my goal.
See, the other thing that you're not gonna see on Apple, freaking taxes and stuff like that. It's always, but I mean, I know, friends, get this, I'm stuck in the crane, I need some money or whatever, like, Joe. So many,
Yeah.
I have my in there, and I get those freaking hacks.
I learned this,
Only,
well, I learned the whole thing, but it took me about a week and a half.
user-friendly, it's very,
Check. My Windows 8, I still can't.
well,
Yeah, it's the new,
everything.
the new chip, the M7 chip. It's got the new operating system. It's got the display, all that.
Equal bid.
Yeah, I paid $600 for it.
Oh, yeah, so,
But it's,
hey,
and I just ordered on Groupon. Yeah, a case like this with the key.
Oh, cool.
What I have to do now is carry this instead of lugging, and the battery lasts like forever.
I know, it's like 12 hours, 10,
Yeah.
12 hours, it's annoying.
Oh, absolutely. If I could, I probably will. I'll probably wind up giving my new Windows 8 laptop to my daughter.
If you're not using programs, tablets are great, but if you gotta use programs like Word or Excel,
Yeah,
never mind.
but with the iPads, all of them.
Oh, wait a second, but hey, you can get Microsoft Office for that.
Oh, yeah.
Or you buy Office for
You buy
the only thing is that I hate Microsoft. I charge you for Office per month. I think
It's a yearly thing.
yeah.
I don't have to.
You know what? Hey, you buy now. You buy an Apple laptop or any computer. You get for free Pages, Codes.
Oh, yeah, you got all that stuff.
You get everything for free. And that's what. Yeah, it works. I mean, I have it.
How do I know if I have that on my Mac?
Did you buy one recently?
Within the last year, I guess I got it.
Well, because at some point, that might be a little bit too late, but
Go to Steam, see if there's any update.
no, it's just going to the App Store.
Yeah.
If you go for free, it's gonna tell you it's free. Just cost some money.
I can go outside and make a phone call.
Yeah, you got yours for free.
What?
The Pages,
Yeah, well,
numbers.
everything in there is free.
I mean, you might not. I mean, I don't know if is it done? Yeah. How it should look. Yeah. I got Pages, numbers, keynote. This is like the way it looks. It's just the same as in, whatever, like, I don't know. I mean, that's just like Word. And it says, if I wanna send it to you, I send it as Word document.
But I have this book
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
would come to me still as,
No,
it will come to me as Microsoft, it'll come to me as,
it's docs.
Yes. It's a compatible
It's
program.
compatible. Everything is It's the same thing. Like if you have.
so can I send a document?
Yeah.
If I have it on this, I don't, right?
Sure. But I mean, well, yours are older, so I don't know if you. What is this? The 5S or the 5? 5?
When Frank gets back, we're ready. When Frank gets back.
The App Store. Which one?
I'll just bring I got a bracelet that you like.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That one that I like.
With a picture of it on my phone. My friend got it from them, so.
Getting there, though. The ice cream, and I went to pastry. Yeah, those things, I'm still figuring this out. The app store.
Let me know what I can. I want to go home.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, at this time, we're going to begin executive session. According to my watch, it's 7:38. Let's begin. Ms. Jones?
Got the minutes here. Like we called it to order at 8:15. You see the board's in attendance. We left from Florida Knights of the game with Winter Haven, and the Knights coach provided documents that proved that player Alton Stevenson was transferred to his team a full 12 minutes before game time. So what wasn't recorded on the game day roster as a rostered player, he was reported a guest player. What the referee had after the team had checked in, apparently. So the board sided with him that he would not have to forfeit that game. Game 25-25, to accept the forfeit because Dalton was definitely listed on that game card as a player. But the fact is he'd already lost game 25-25. Business, we talked about the coach Greg Rickbeer that we suspended is still coaching. We resolved balance schedule with the U12 girls. We moved game 4664. Even failed to show up for a game, so there was a fine, and Margot was given a 3-0 forfeit. Game 7-3, we would allow the reschedule because one of the complaints was that the team didn't agree to reschedule date, the date of the game. We believe that the home team scheduled the game without their approval. And it was a reschedule. That's why we've changed our reschedule for Thursday. There was much we could do. Great Northport, Nature Coast versus Citrus. This is all on the site. Ozark, possible referee abuse. We need to do that. It was sent to FYSA, wasn't it? Brian Dozark?
Yeah.
We haven't heard back, have we? I have. So we'd be the one. Okay. Benford is Northport, and they game 2038 with too many guest players. So that would be issues for the executive.
Come on, Brian Dozark.
Somebody else needs to do it. Motion to approve it?
Okay.
All in favor? All right, can you close that? Agenda, all right. We have tests and appeals, work on that. There's one thing I want to add to the agenda, and that is the discussion of proposed rule changes for next year, since the board has to bring them to, bring anything we want to propose next month to the budget, so in compliance with our rules for the AGM. Suggestion, so I just want to.
Okay, when do we have to, when do we have to get those ready?
Have to have them published like 20 before the meeting. So
When is
I, maybe it's May 14th.
So what,
I wanted to discuss
so
that.
anything that we discussed at the DOC meeting,
Be quickly
what?
put place and written up.
So
After,
what was the deadline? What would be the deadline? May, what is it? Right.
May 14th. April. Everything in writing and posted. If there's beyond what our board has come up with. What you want to do first? Well, this is a new business, so. I've got a stack here. I know. That was this one. This is MMO, in response to their use of ineligible secondary players. It right here, and I'm going to read it in a minute, but I want to give you some background. In November, the coach notified the referee and was marked on a game report that he was protesting the game because Houston Dynamo had secondary players on his team. And secondary players would not have been the issue. However, USA rules require that they be between a 14 and a 15-year-old team. And this was between a 13 and a 14-year-old team. So it was in violation of USA rules. At the second meeting, the board decided that the penalty would be to forfeit any games that he won with the ineligible secondary players. Correct? Am I correct? Because we were all... has now sent us a appeal of that was made on December 10th. That's what I'm going to read, because it came out, I got it yesterday. So we have to make copies. As for Rule 107 for protests and appeals, please consider this an official protest from Houston Dynamo of Tampa regarding actions taken and imposed by the USA League in regards to game 25-31 between Houston Dynamo, Tampa, and Plant City 14 boys. Our protest stems from the following. On November 11th, I received an email at 11:35 p.m. from Linda Laser stating in part, at the monthly USA board meeting, a protest was heard from Plant City for the use of ineligible players at the USA game. The issue in general terms was that HDT has 3 youth 13 age players listed as secondary players in the game card for this match. In contrast to FYSA rules, USA only permits the designation of secondary for players between 14 and 15 rosters. Was admittedly an administrative oversight on our part. In this email on to indicate that due to this oversight, the board decided that all games played to that point in the season by the HDT U14 team would be changed to 3-0 forfeit. With the minutes of Linda's email to HDT, another email was sent to show back to all the affiliates, reminding them of this rule and that they all should review and get rosters in compliance. And by doing so, else was given a warning. Further clarification from Linda went on to indicate that this was actually a protest filed by the opposing team as per bylaws and rules of the league, but the board received communication via the referee's online game report, and that we did get it. The cover of protest is based on the following points. The protest. The USA bylaws and rules specific 107 are clear that all protests and appeals shall be held with a person duly appointed by the association to receive appeal protests, together with filing fee in the form of check or money order payable to the association in the amount of $100. It does exclude communication received by the referee online game report. It is our contention that this was never a valid protest since not administered by the league board. Content of the protest game report communication. The team communicated any roster issues or questions prior to or directly after the game as indicated by lack of any note from the referee to support on the actual game report. They're meaning the paper report. It was reported to us at a later date by the referee that he received a call later that evening after parties had left the field and was instructed by a third party that was not present that he should record on the online game report that the city coaches questioned the roster prior to the game starting. If that is true, and we believe it to be true, that is a big problem and contrary to what actually happened. Punishment administered to HGT. The administered is excessive and extremely punitive. In our opinion, first as noted in Linda's original email, the player in question had been on the roster since 3 days before the junior season began. It was not intent to cheat in any way, but based on early season injuries and players moving away, we want to ensure that when needed, those players could step up in age group and help. Along the line, there were some games that not played, so that because they were on the roster, they played as fault. We feel it was simply not fair to administer that punishment to us while providing a warning to all of the affiliates that we either on purpose or inadvertently have the same issue. As noted earlier, within 20 minutes of the original email we received, a second went out to all affiliates reminding them about the secondary player rule and provided a warning to everyone else but forcing us to forfeit all games played. The action taken was applied fairly, and the league should review all game reports from this season to that point and review the list of all players listed as secondary and validate eligibility. If other team clubs have the same issue, then they should have to forfeit games as well. Third, what precedent or guideline was used to determine the punishment administered, and who determined that? Was it the entire board, and if so, and decision memorialized in minutes somewhere? I never denied that an oversight was made. The difference between the FYSA rule and the USA League rule will be more clearly interpreted by administrative staff than we would simply put those 3 players in the actual U14 roster and then would participated with the U13 team every week as guest players, and there would be no issue. It did not affect on those games. Those were not higher division players being brought down to a lower division to win. As I say, one of my original responses was to accept a censure warning or fine at the club level, but to take away not only the results of the game, but all previous games from the kids and teams is excessive in our opinion. I think we'd like the punishment to be reversed until the validity of the protest and how it was should be submitted as confirmed. The various would be willing to accept a forfeit for that specific game, but that would like all previous results restored. So I'll put that in case you have any. And then I'll go and pull up the December at the meeting, and I know that we appropriately discussed it. Let's see, there were no minutes taken in December. The secretary wasn't there, and there were no minutes, and whoever did the recording didn't record it, because we don't have it. But I know it was a regular board meeting, and we discussed it, and let me see if I can find the game in question.
Linda, discussing this is, people here are, I mean, where y'all kind of feel, or is this the,
We've got a forum, fine.
okay, all right.
You'll pull up the game report from the referee. We have knowing when the referee got the information and it's on game report. This was the first we've had. This came out yesterday. I know what's on the game report. Email from, even though I sent the email, it was the board decision, and I was the one carrying out, notifying everybody. It was the reason why I was doing it. I had to. It would have been 2531. 2531. Here it's after the game, Coach Mark Harrison from PC said they would file an objection to the game due to Houston using guest players. Wasn't guest players when we looked at this. Was three secondary players, but the secondary players, and then a 14 and 15 would not be an issue. That's what was decided. The protest, and I gave a report here. According to this, he said it was after the game, but this is where a coach contests the eligibility of a player and the referee reports it. We know things based on the game report. That's always what's on that game report. I'm going to try to erase this. I would have with it.
Well, the referees are supposed to turn in all the rosters,
And
the game cards. And if they do that,
20%.
game incidents, well, you gotta break that up. If there's it's saying, the coach, this goes back to 3 meetings ago, I talked about protest, and we're initiating appeals protest, and yet, did we ever get anything from Mark Harrison protesting this game?
Yeah. Yeah.
We got it right, and they protested.
Yeah, that's when we went and we looked at the game report. And it was in the game report.
So we, something that he protested this game.
It wasn't a $100 check. It was just letting us know, and then we went to the game report. How
So
was
he
it?
appealed the game. How did it go?
Sure, it was an email. And then I went and I pulled the game report. There. The board has to decide when there's player eligibility questions, a formal this clear that the players are ineligible.
Bylaws, and,
We have in the bylaws about a challenge at game time.
okay,
If for some reason it's going on, well, yeah. However, we're still back, we're looking at the technicality of how it was protested and the ability of the players. It's two different. Mm-hmm. look at every one of these game reports, because the referees, unfortunately, don't always put stuff in. So, always catch everything.
Just for your edification, the referee assault, it says FYSA, through the game report. So, I think that the referee actually wrote up, so, we had to respond to that. And the game report it is an official document. So that's kind of, the game report is what we look at. I looked at all those.
And then I'm sending them out to the board, I see something. And there are when I receive an email from a coach before the game report's even filed. And I'm waiting for the game report to be filed.
So where you forfeited.
Well,
Which is how many we're talking.
well, the ones that they automatically lost,
And what is it?
and anybody notified Dynamo when, during that meeting. Yeah. But I got this yesterday. It came in to me yesterday. So decide how we're going to deal with this.
Oh, I mean, look, you're not going to be happy about it, but the thing I will say is to spend at the coaches meeting, which is mandatory, every group about 45 minutes to explain to them exactly what they do and what they can't do. Okay? Now, this was discussed with the U14 teams. No secondary players. The coach should have known, okay, this could be a problem. Let's go back, well, I didn't know, or well, again, look, the kids play, okay, that's all great. But see, we got notified now by a referee, okay, that the other coach challenged. Look, I mean, he had second. This is how we find out. And okay, we think to the coaches and say, well, I didn't know. It was an oversight. I mean, somewhere, someone to take responsibility for what happened. Regardless, I mean, again, I know it's something, you don't like to hear. But, I mean, again, where does it stop? Okay, we tell you now, okay, well, let's let it go. And this one, oh, well, I didn't know. And right. I mean, again.
It was the fact that the players were secondary the entire season.
Okay.
They're all four were secondary the entire season.
Oh, 4 of them.
Just 3. I'm sorry, that's a different team. 4 is a different one.
See, the thing is, again, and I mean, I'm trying to see. The problem with this game, obviously, is that in addition to those secondary players, you also had guest players. Okay, I can see if you would say, okay, look, in this game, we only had those 3 secondary players. There were no guest players or anything else. So we say, okay, well, let's consider those 3 guest players. Okay, I mean, I'm not even that, but that 3 players you could consider guest players. But as soon as you have then another guest player, then it becomes, okay, now you play half a team. So, yeah. Well, that's something that, yeah, that's, well, could have. I think,
That was because they were secondary the entire season.
Yeah.
They were on the roster as a secondary player from before the season began.
Compliment here, it was question on coach and team, so maybe the game we address. Going that whole season. Supply had said anything at a game, say anything, and then continued anyway.
It would have.
Look at it, now whether it's right or wrong. So my question is for one game, so go back now and penalize for all the games.
We know that they were secondary on the roster.
And he acknowledged that, and we were on for that, and, you know, so that's what I would throw as well.
yeah.
As we've got
Yes.
an issue with.
I'm for enforcing the rules of law.
I think the only,
Do we go and says, okay, now we caught you, and then we go back and see. Which teams, high school played an illegal player, they found out in the 15th game, lost the whole season.
Right.
Went into the playoffs of 15.
But if you're on the roster, you're considered as played. That's.
Right, you cannot say you didn't play, right?
Exactly. And these players were on the roster as secondary players all season. The discussion that we had at the December board meeting.
That's a little bit of a history of where the punishment comes from. That's probably a little bit of a standing as well, too. You know, that, yeah, you got called an illegal player.
It's not an FY, it's not a USA rule, that's the way FYSA enforces it. If they cut with the 19th player,
Yeah.
if you're on the
unless you're crossed out.
right.
Yeah.
We've got no proof because the Reeves haven't been turning in the game, and we can get them. I tried to get them.
Well, just crossing him out. When he gives the referee the card, says, okay, this player is not here, this player is not here, this player.
Right.
Right. Well, I mean, he's got a point there. Got a point there.
He knows if they played properly. Those games was one of them that played. Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Yeah, we have a roster. I don't have it in front of me. Mm-hmm. forfeited in their favor? Games, I just definitely lose at the game that wasn't played, that we give back the win for, since it was played. That's what it is. Oh, on my other computer. It would have been like 3 games we overturned. See, it's not going to tell me here. I'm going to have to go and find it. I'm going to have to go here. Well, the team schedule.
One thing I think you need to look at the loophole or close it right with what you protest with and how you guys address it. You know, it's neat up for someone. Generate that sort of.
Well, that's what generated was the game report. Because not been in the game report, it would have been a neat point.
Okay, so how you said you got it, you know.
And it was in the game report. In the game report. I was in the game report when I was. Yeah, this is 14th, but I can't figure out which one they would have, because normally have forfeits listed over here so that we know. But I don't see anything that shows that there was a forfeit. Oh, that's right. I need to go. Hold up, Plant City, and I need to go. I don't know. Still don't see anything that indicates that. A fourth? There's a game. This one? Tampa Bay? The other can show up? Well, 2509. Okay. Change this one back since the other teams show up.
You have no choice.
I think, this problem with the 6 players in that one game, which we can support.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think we can support anything where we don't have any proof about it. And got a point with, okay, if we don't have the game, the card, or thing, we don't know if those 3 players play or not. So as long as we have it, we can't assume. So I think, in this case, yes, we have proof of the one game where he basically uses 6 players. The games that we cannot prove, we can't have him forfeit the games because there's no proof and we don't have anything to back that up. If we do have that, yes, then we have a case. Otherwise, we don't. I don't know.
My personal opinion is the fact that they're on the roster, they have to play. because of roster. It's a rostering issue. That's opinion, it's a rostering issue. They shouldn't have been on the roster ever.
Well,
Whether they played or not is,
okay.
We don't have proof that they played, and we
but we
don't
have,
have to play.
but we have proof that they were on the roster.
Well,
That we have.
I could come back and say something now. What if they play in another league where it's allowed? And they use this roster to play in another league. That roster is allowed with a secondary player, as per FYSA. It's just not allowed with USA. Now, we can say, hey, look, I play in another league and play with those players. I never played those players in the USA.
Okay.
Again, this is just,
All right, I'll make a motion that we give back the wins for the we don't approve. But should we get a game the players play? I have pulled everything. Referees are not turning in the game cards. We only have less than 20% of the game cards are turned in.
Let's put a deadline on it.
Well, first is the end.
I want to close it.
I would say March 31st,
Mhm.
end of season, which is
Mhm.
2 weeks away.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Very fair. I don't want to go
Mhm.
3 years down the road.
Mhm.
do stuff.
Mhm.
It's open-ended.
Right.
Yeah. Can of worm, close in at the end of the season. That's it, because it wouldn't be fair to,
Anybody.
it's just not.
I remember. And they weren't there, and we looked at the Houston Dynamo roster and decided Houston Dynamo had the right to the roster. And then Plenty came back with a different roster weeks later. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Second was, who's second? Okay. Yeah.
Well, repeat, we doing here, so.
Get back.
Total thing. They'll only forfeit the game with proof.
Hmm? That's it, the games with proof.
there's only proof of violation of ineligible players, use of ineligible players.
In the white.
We,
And any,
anyone has to forfeit.
Fines or fees and all that other stuff.
because we agreed with them, we're gonna give them his check back.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to contest him and has the game cards, which they don't because the referees haven't been turning them in, they've got to do first. Before they.
And that's not where I was, if that's legitimate, or if it,
Mhm.
that would be illegitimate.
The roster, it's somewhere, but, I mean, what?
The game piece of,
Mhm.
they're fine for the forfeit. Fine for the forfeit. Get back, give us a check back, is all the games that we've done, but it's just not negate the fact that they were out on this one game, we have proof,
Mhm.
and they put that game, and there's a fine with the forfeit.
Are you fine with that forfeit?
That's what I'm not
What,
arguing to it.
Usually, we only require a forfeit on there's no game. But the game,
Okay.
but the forfeit is for the teams that don't show up. That's the kind
referee
of.
doesn't get paid, I think that's all we have to get.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree with
Mhm.
Hello. Hello.
additional fines.
They just, you remember,
He gets that one back. We keep this and he gets that back.
Well, the thing is that, I don't know whether you play in a tournament. Secondary play is not a problem. So you can have that roster, so where you belong. But whenever you play a USA game, it's going to be all they're not playing. You just lost them all, your coach crosses them off. Use the game card to the three, everything's going to be fine. It's just, most people are playing well. Understood that they were really well, great for us. One of those things that's different from my life, that making sure that these people are there. The intent was, we need to help people. So what we should have is, I said, we should have just taken those 13, put them on 14 roster. And then when needed, their roster, and then they would have got to play back to their it really comes down to the coach. The reason why, Linda spends 25 minutes, and it's really boring after you hear it for like 5 times. But she spends 45 minutes with every age group, explaining to them exactly what they can do, what they can't do, all the she clarified everything that has anything to do with the utility. Including making sure that there's as many people that have rights for access. That was part of it. That was a piece of the issue. So, yeah. But anyway, I appreciate what you Well, you need to take back. Coaches, you guys really have to help monitor the league. We don't have representatives at every game. Our representative, for the most part, is a referee, and that's it. We get a game. So if your guys, I'll be honest, when I coach, I totally stop being basically with you. I'm just out and volunteer, but I know that rule book inside now. And I literally coach and beat another manager just on the rules of the game. He didn't sub, he didn't know what his pictures could take, what the eligibility was, and all that other stuff. All that. So I'm pushing guys to help your coaches know the stuff. So if you're in a safe day, you do that. If you're in another league, you got to know that. But you don't know what the rules are, you can actually out-manage.
CDL has different rules than we do.
Then you have to
They do.
So, go on with that. And there's so many different rules, especially if you play in different leagues. Because the league that they're playing in, if there's limited substitution, that's right, to push everybody in, and tell me, well, you can't do that. And, you're 6 subs, man, you're hurt. Guess what? We had this happen in tournament.
State Cup rules this year.
Yeah, I got hurt, got pulled out, they could not sub, they played short.
Check out the State Cup rules this year.
They could take them out for a second, can't put them back in, or,
Yeah, you're subbing out. All kinds of stuff.
Who you want to come on?
He's got a bunch to go through.
All right,
Let's move on.
yeah.
Same age group. North Ninth, use many winner guest players versus Haven games 25-16. Last month, we discussed, Luke Boyd gave us a check and all the documentation that proves that he could play 12 minutes before game time. Okay. And from Winter Haven, did they send us a check? Okay. This is what I thought. He was here, and he laughed. thought we got a written thing to Haven, and I thought we were gonna get a protest, but the idea was that, I don't have the game report with me, but Whittington believes that the roster that was turned into the referee should have counted, that Lou shouldn't have been given the ability to move the player and not have a proper pass or proper roster at game time. It's not here. He didn't give him the money.
We can table it.
Age group, it's the same.
But we proof of the other people that they have a roster, they have a credit roster.
No, we have the printed roster. And
They provided it again.
at the game, after they did check it, this is what I wanted to clarify, but it has to be with 12 minutes. After check-in, a Winter Haven home game, Florida, which is North Flyers, okay, or a 7 o'clock game, we're at 6:50 or 6:40. He obviously was in Winter Haven when he did that. And that Haven
But,
is suggesting it was after check-in.
Yeah, but
After the players were checked in. They checked in the player.
That player was moved onto the roster.
Well, yes, I don't know, I mean, I remember when we discussed it, we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
FYC, the FYC allowed.
According USA rules that you will provide to the referee a roster, he had done that. And this roster, which is one in my hand, shows North Florida Knights information. That's what we're taking. He's not here.
because they weren't on the roster.
Or when they're
They checked it.
no, he did it at check-in. What happened was Winter Haven complained, and so then Luke called his club. The club moved player 12 minutes before the game started. That's
We were complaining. Or maybe
I'm trying to 2560.
Fine.
Going.
In other words, if we got proof that
Checking.
before, after.
That's, I wish he was here, and he's not, that's what I'm saying.
A time of checking is a time to protest to
Mhm.
referee, as you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Before the game, report, before the game, before checked in, players did not have 4 players on the official printed roster that was printed by the Kicks that day. All the players had player cards, and the head coach for North Fort Myers showed me the official roster, which they were listed as guest players from the beginning of the season, because the registrar was able to go in the registrar section and put them on as guest players. Again, we think they played all season. The referees didn't give us game cards. And the referee said it was a technical error. Well, a technical error because one player moved so that he wouldn't be in violation.
I left their email about that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you just said, but then it says, all hours this team allowed to schedule games only has 10 players on their official roster at the start of the season. According to Section 2 of the state, the team must have a minimum of 11 registered players each group. So,
The other one is, but here, it's just it's the same age group, and it's still the same player eligibility. I think we have to really close up some of this stuff for next year. I don't know that we can do anything this year. He's not here, he didn't provide us with money, but it's clear when you start reading this that after check-in, that player was moved. Because at 6:47.
It's
After this, and the referee said he saw the 4 guest players.
referees walk up 5 minutes before kickoff. Or the kickoff might have been at 7:15.
But North Myers is not near Winter.
Well, you're right, they probably could have called it, but you were saying before, after check-in, they did it. I'm not seeing any proof at this point. I don't know when check-in was.
He said all floor places, I'm reading from the
They
game.
walked up at 7 o'clock, and, which kid, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's just,
He's
clock off, it's a half hour, 45 minutes, we're checking in.
His actual kickoff was 7. That's what,
Right.
but you know how that can be. Yeah. You have to go by what. Okay. The ref says the 4 players. He's referencing the 4. Can change prior to check-in, it wouldn't have shown that way.
Players were checking in. Eligible to play at 7 o'clock.
That's just it.
Because again, it's just had up there. I mean, you showed the roster.
Turn the phone.
They showed them the roster on the phone.
4 jet players.
Right. Well,
Oh, yeah, that says 4. Everything here says 4.
no, but the coach was all players, but they were actually on the team.
They were on the team. Because what he showed them, it was on his phone, it wasn't printed. I went and found the roster that he pulled on his phone. I went and found it
So put them on that roster.
as guest players. Oh,
No, not our last meeting. They were on the team. The player was on the team as of 6 o'clock.
yeah, at 6:40, but,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so that he was eligible as he was.
Oh, yeah, at 6:47, he was eligible.
So they waited 7. So here's the deal with the other guy.
Mhm.
He said nothing. It happened. I don't know what happened.
But we don't know.
Well, that's just, he's not. So he should have said nothing. Play game. And then lose. And what that guy might not have ever added those players to the roster.
Right.
He's the coach had time to rectify the problem before kickoff.
Yep, that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
No, that's what happened.
So do you say nothing? Go over the mark.
But he wanted.
Remember somebody?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna play this game. If it don't have the way I want, then we'll just turn him in. So anyway, that's kind of how that, because he had proof that they're on the roster before the kickoff.
Players.
No, they were rostered.
Oh, it was only one that was rostered.
So, but that made it,
Right.
because they only had 3 guest players. It was about 4 guest players. He rostered 1 before kickoff,
Right. Rostered one before kickoff.
and he had a player pass.
Not team.
Wow.
Checked in without no pass.
The pass was for the other team. The pass played on was for the other team.
But he had a,
He had a pass
but from their club,
from their club.
an underage group. I mean, he was legal transferred
Yeah.
onto the roster.
Right, it's just he didn't have his new pass.
That's what I would not prevent a kid.
To address these situations for next
You
year.
have to clarify what's it said. I mean, you've got the class. Mike and Merritt.
So this shouldn't have any bearing on the referees, because the referees. Yeah.
He didn't show pass. Well, the thing is, the phone thing I'm a little leery about, but I can connect to what with my phone right now, I have an app where I can print right from my phone to a printer.
Right. And you can, there's the Got Soccer Mobile, you can pull up your rosters. You can, but FSA and USA has not accepted electronic player passes because there are glitches.
Yeah, we went online and verified. There was.
Oh, yeah, he was there 10 minutes before.
Timestamp on it.
10 minutes
So-
before game time, also.
So I, like I said, he probably wasn't, without saying nothing, didn't say something.
That's that. Not here, so he left. My understanding was he was gonna bring us a check to protest, but
I know, as well.
he's not here, so. Okay, move on.
Yeah.
Next one is Players Club. We've heard from two more people. Greg Beaver is still coaching, which he's a coach. After he was suspended, he's still coaching. Issue up with FYSA. And last month, I presented to this group the rule FYSA was breaking by allowing him to coach while he was suspended. We're supposed to get together on it, and hasn't happened.
I sat in on a hearing, and one of the parties refiled weeks ago.
And notified, this still, this FYA is still waiting, the hearing, he's proper, and yet he's still coaching. And every rule say, if
Sure.
you are suspended, you catch, because you had a hearing. If an appeal, the hearing body shall notify all parties. FYA is not notified us. An appeal, the appellant had 7 days to submit his appeal, and 35 days is a little bit longer than 7, and we still haven't heard from FYSA. But I don't know what communication Paul said, other than I communicated with him, and that's how I know that he appealed. That was a month ago. FYA is still allowing him to coach.
Because they league game.
Oh, no.
That's where our power is.
Our board here, it's just,
So if they're letting go somewhere else,
and we will have to deal with.
and we'll do ISA, but he will not go.
No.
He's done.
It doesn't.
He cannot league games. Right? I mean, we think about FYSA. If they're not willing to take precedent, that's all them.
But there is a mound of evidence.
Found it. Oh, I found it.
Although we can't use video, there's even video, we can't use it. But there's a mound of evidence, and one club refuses to play there because they don't want to be caught up in the middle of it.
So, our limit of our authority is with the Fox USA League.
Right. And we still don't know who was wearing uniform number 9.
And we never will.
Never will.
So we're not coaching that spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if other clubs don't want to play, that's their thing.
Well, they won't play at their field. They'll only play their own field. Because they always vote if they're playing at their field, they'd be in,
No, the reason.
that's what's his name.
The whole reason is the FYSA 15-mile rule.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason that Players Club is not
No,
playing
I'm not
home games.
talking about play. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the evidence from
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Illegal
Yeah.
and coaching. All right, so do we need to do anything on which one is that?
That Player Club Chivas team, this one right here that I've got up here. And that's, we're just reporting that that's still an open issue.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right. It's full business, but is there anything to do with it?
I'm going to bring this up then, clubs in violation of USA rules. We'll talk, there's like 3 clubs that we've got issues with. So because Players Club not cooperating with USA. So,
And what can we do right now as a board?
we choose nothing. I think we can let it play out. Oh, they're gonna make it. Yeah. So So just reporting on where we stand. I don't know unless somebody's got something else. I just wanted to report on where we stand this FY.
We're still in like that.
Yeah. Okay, so, we've got these games. Approach the forfeit game number 626. This is where Sherry's gonna have to make sure that we're on the right. Oh, neither team showed up. We have paid the referee. And this game was 2:15. We finding Lake Wales?
Yes, we give them, and then their response was,
Because the team.
They're the home team.
That's this. I think we need to look at what we're going to do when neither team shows up, because we've got a bunch of them. One team apparently calls the away team and says, "Don't show up." Game's canceled. What happened?
And the home team show.
They got denied. They found out Friday night, 9:30 is when they got the email that the game was.
And let's find out from Sherry.
What's
Page
submitted?
26.
It was submitted now. No problem.
Oh, okay.
that wasn't it submitted like on Thursday before, I think, in November.
That's screwed up. That's all.
Let's go into a tournament. Did he contact FC Tampa and tell them not to come?
He contacted FC Tampa via that
I'll look that up.
and tried to get the game, and they, I believe, were getting back to it. It was after the 1 day, the actual thing was horrible to move the game.
It was the day before. Game was 2:15, and here's the communication on 2:14. That's
When was it first started? Because it said
one team line, but FC Tampa didn't respond until 2:14.
Okay.
that delayed him actually applying for the request to move the game, was put after the 21 days. So what do you do in that situation?
Game, we've got to come down with what we're going to do with these teams, because there's 10 of them.
Well,
It's not the only one.
You sent a message on 115.
Request,
Mm-hmm. You should follow it up.
Yeah, so what's the,
My like I say, the coach, I didn't even know he was doing it. That's for me and my coaches, because I would have taken care of this right off the bat. It was a weird before the coach like me, and I'm like, you need to call up.
right, so,
so then the night before they make contact again.
you don't get a response back in a day or two, you need to be, somebody needs to call up.
Especially on the deadline. Yeah.
So screwed. So I'm not defending my coach. What I just didn't understand was a regular scheduled game as of 9:30 to 14. So now teams are, is one team required or is the whole team?
If FC Tampa had shown up,
Right.
and they were apparently told not to show up, it would have been a forfeit for Lake Wales, $350 fine, and FC Tampa would have gotten a 3-0. So these teams that don't show up, because, I mean, what's going to do when the away team gets the call off from a home team? A bunch of them. This is not the only one. The board is, this is not the only one.
Right. And like I put in my email, I think you should, I think you should find those.
What we've done in the past, find the home team and allow them to collect the money from the other team.
Well, this deal, who's the burden on? Okay. That's, and the home team, not getting a response 115 memo, you fall. Right. So that's kind of where we, I don't know. So you're with the home team, right?
Yeah, I'm with them.
Okay.
And like I say,
So the burden's got to be on them.
Mhm.
So, and obviously, they go the night before, says, hey, we're not gonna be there, and the guy didn't show up. So, but it all goes back to 115 where that guy didn't
Mhm.
follow up and do his job. So that's why I say you ought to find both of them. Well, no, because on the whole team to get a response, you know, get an okay. That's kind of where we're at. You know, that's the answer. We got to put the burden on the whole team. Who gets uniform? Changes this. Who's responsible for the field? It's always who's responsible for the goals being answered. So the responsibility.
Mhm. Home team and no. I mean, we've got lunch. How do we? I mean, this is not the only one. We got a bunch to go through.
Well, I thought that's pretty clear, right?
No replay.
Well, we,
Hey, fine. Well,
We've had a couple of other this year, and we said no replay.
and we have to go back, also,
Mhm.
twice. We're looking at a precedent after the fact.
Mhm.
no, yeah, we can't. We already made a decision. They can't.
I just want to work that when I write this down, so that when I let the people know, I won't have Linda Lake upset coming back an email. It's like, no, it's the board that said.
It's American Memorial.
You know?
they would have showed up, they would have got the full again.
Yeah. The team had produced an email that said, you know,
We sent them, we answered them
yeah.
within 21 days, telling them no.
Mhm. But we got to make sure teams understand games are played as scheduled. And we're going to, there again, that's in this part here. And no home team can cancel a game if it's duty. You know, you get the letter for jury duty. You get a call from somebody that says don't show up.
Or if you're a student producing college education.
Yeah.
We got to do something to make it hard for the team show up.
Yeah. It's 3. We already paid the rest. I've already paid
Yeah.
the rest. And no refund. So when I get to the other ones, we'll have already got we've set the, yeah, because I know it's happened. Addition of forfeit fine, 1051. Mm-hmm. To follow up.
Well, you know, he coming to tournament with a pilot saying,
Mhm.
on the board, hey,
He's saying fine. I mean, that's what you're saying, comes out of the law, you're set up. We will do it until the jury band day, because if you were sending another email saying, I need change,
Mhm.
then, I mean, they can't look, then, because whatever happened to this, I'm sorry, they did a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I would like to add, just that, I mean, it could come back one day before, that's.
Yeah. Oh, this is the next one. Benita Spring did not show up. So, Brad Basin got paid by Largo. So how are we going to find the Springs 250? Paid. I just want you to all see this before I do it.
Wait, team and didn't show up. Yeah.
Springs 250.
No communication.
Nope. Well, they've already got the forfeit. Keep forgetting it identified. All right. The next one is 69. The back, get what flower that is. All right. 569. We've got visited not show. So we're to find Omar. I want to go through this so that when we get to some of the other ones, we've got to. 250. so that it will be Sherry that sends out the memo. The fines. Yeah, I'll give you the list I'm writing down. Here, both teams know. Now, I don't know why it got put in with Greater Pennsylvania Game Camp. Let me find out what's going on. Both teams no show. No, I don't think so. Tampa Bay shouldn't have gotten it. No game. 0-0. So there's a fine Oldsmar, right? $350. Let me see. Let me see if I can find something else on 2001. Both teams did not show.
Just contact thing.
Okay. You're looking in the chat log because this says it was canceled 2001. Both teams don't show. Dave left.
The Wyoming game canceled, yes.
So both teams didn't show up. The rep had to do that. I didn't do that. The rep did that because he's almost got access to that. He goes in the chat log. Terry, can you see if you've got communication on 2011? See if you've got anything on them.
They show up for effort
Nothing.
time, your name doesn't go on the roster.
Yeah. Nothing in the chat log. The chat log. So
I don't think I have.
you don't either. But I'm going to say if both teams no show, it's an Oldsmar 350 fine and no replay. Because that's what we've already done with that's what we decided to do. We have to be consistent.
I do have something.
Okay.
This is me, we have heard something in Wayne, maybe you said this when I was out there. You received this time the home team advised that there was, no one available,
Okay.
and that the game was not going to be played.
All right.
The away team is asking the game to be rescheduled.
All right. So we went ahead and we gave the away team a 3-0 because they got a text. And field. We never heard from the club saying there was no. No, that's the email. So we're going to find Oldsmar 350. It's up to them to make sure they've got field. I mean, the night before the game is not the time to say we don't have a field. It's just like these teams that are saying, well, we're playing in
Where the field's closed.
No, not all day. 14 was a beautiful day. I all the days of the bad weather. For Shirley and I.
Weekend was about rescheduling.
I mean, we know. We know it. But there's a problem with the club because that's not the only one. All of a sudden they don't have fields, yet they're the ones scheduled. Yeah. Let me. And here's 8:05. Bruce showed up. They've already mailed these, and they're done. They're received communication, which is that's not the done.
Yeah, well, for me, actually. I can speak on this, that we had everything was ready to go. We've had a problem with this team. We ready to fire the coach. And so I just was done on purpose.
You mean?
The girls didn't show up on purpose. This was a hotel quarterback.
But the coach?
No,
In-house sabotage?
pretty much. We notified the coach and advised them not to come from all the way Rain River just to come up and play with 7 players. Where's it? I mean, we're a club, and, but I'm just saying is that at that point, I then called Shay and told her, if you can get to the assigner and tell them to come. But, we did the other coach, and, paying the rest or whatever, we're not.
The thing that should have happened, Braden should have shown up.
But you can't make Braden, I mean,
The VSI coach should have paid the referees, and
Yeah.
Green River would have gotten a 3-0 win.
Okay,
That's
it's
what
gonna make
should
Braden
happen.
River travel all the way, okay, that's fine with me, because I told him not to come. Yeah.
Should have,
I told him not to come.
not when you're talking about 45 minutes before the game.
Okay.
Terry got the call.
No, you got an email a little earlier, then I
But
called.
I wasn't home.
Yeah, what I'm saying
I
is
didn't
that.
see that.
But you're right, and I would speak on this for any team, don't get me wrong, and if we'll take on, we have to pay the fine, it's legit. Just think about this, okay? Why are we make as an organization, like that, Green River, or, I mean, if it was a local club, if it was, okay, fine. But, because of that situation where we think this was done on purpose, the girls didn't show up, but the team's actually been dismantled already since that day. And I, as a common courtesy to that player, don't come up and play. And they were grateful and said we would have been pissed that made us come up here. So I kind of made the call. I mean, and if you want to find, I'll get the heat on it, but I said it's not procedure, and because it was last minute, I was at Region C, and the coach called me at Region C. I'm in the middle of the game. I'm trying to coach my girls at Region C, and that plays the best when you're on. I guess they did. Actually, we lost 1-0.
Okay, so this one's going to be Braden River 3
Right. Yeah.
and being $350 fine. Right?
So I think that as an organization today,
So how many teams don't do their due diligence and don't do what they're supposed to do?
call me, reach me right away. I mean, and like I said, we replaced it.
When I was in Brooks School, I had a coach that I had done, and I used him for that. I will always girls, and I always girls, and make sure that they all,
That I did too.
they all,
To me,
and they know that.
they lied to me. See, they lied to me. I had it all set, ready to go on Thursday. And for the money, but now it seems to 7-11.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna be in your club.
The guys, they're gone.
454.
Custody, that's
Well, they got, they came to play state.
All right.
Oh, we're put them that bad. We're gonna put them, but now the team is expanded and let's take back one coach. Absolutely. Their own players, their own players. Coaches, yeah. I mean, just, can we do that, coach?
You can, the club can.
owns with FYSA.
That's right, yeah. That's what I'm saying, can the club put, tag that coach so that, or tag on that player? I know we can do it to players, whatever, we can do it, but
They're players now, but in 2 years, when they come back from college, they're gonna be a coach.
But you can't, well, wait a second. You can't put them in the standing, it's the
But
coach.
the coaches cause, the coaches cause fines, yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's not paid off.
Yeah. The person pays fines, yeah. They have to say.
yeah, well, at this point, they all owe us money. All the players owe us money at this point. And even the coach said that we'll just have to collect the money for the fine. And I'm fine with that. I'm just going back now saying, first of all, I want to do it so the kids did show up, or would have showed up, so, but the kids didn't for the ones that are now pretty much. I mean, we're actually disbanding the team. I'll deal with that from the club, but I'm just wondering. Yeah.
Game 454, want to give you background. February 20th, the night before this game. Like, February 21st, next before this game. We have this long list of this coach complaining about referee being assigned to this game on Saturday. It was 5 o'clock when we got said missive. It was huge. She was complaining about the referee and how dare the assigner assign this referee to them. Remember, it was a huge, famous, long dissertation. Trying to read on my phone as we were on a dinner cruise. So anyway, Paul responded in length.
No, I wouldn't believe that. I thought they were short too long. Time to go home.
Anyway, and he typed it out on his phone. But he responded in length. At 9 o'clock that night, how USA couldn't referee did their game and da-da-da-da. Then, shirt from behind.
At 10:05 p.m., by the way.
10:05 p.m.
Yeah.
Must have been a hell of a night.
I didn't answer it because I knew it was soccer, and I'm like, no, I had company when I wasn't in
Yeah.
But I did get up early the next morning and call and see what's going on.
This is the 1 o'clock game, mind you.
So,
Okay, so go on
And then, so that morning, she said that they had been contacted by the other team to know us. Now, I truly believe she did not know anything about the whole referee issue. She just said the game wasn't going to be played, so we're not going to drive up there.
And Sherry went and canceled out the game. So I see game canceled because Sherry did that.
Right, and I called Dave Peterson first, and just, yeah, that's fine, I can get a hold of the ref, and it's no problem, and he didn't even expect for us to be paid or anything. So we canceled it, just to say everybody knows.
Right, which we're gonna firm up that, because my opinion is that this game should have stayed on the books, and Dayton should find,
no, wait a minute.
they didn't have the right to call off the game.
Yeah, but Dunny did call.
Yeah, Dunedin called Lehigh and told Lehigh not to come.
But I call was Tor call, and the game was gonna play.
Yeah, Dunedin called Lehigh, and then Lehigh called Sherry. Sherry.
But then there's another piece to it. It said on, I don't know if y'all noticed on the schedule, there's a new field there where, or like a drop down where it'll say postponed versus canceled. And it said postponed, so we assumed that that was the case, which said that there wasn't going to be a game.
But we know that the coach knew about the game because he gave this huge missive about,
Okay, the Dunny coach.
yes, the Dunedin coach.
But I don't think Lehigh ever knew that part. I really don't. I think he just believed him, that the game was.
Well, that coach was willing to cancel the game.
Mm-hmm.
Willing to put up with that referee.
Yeah, and I can tell you the rest was.
Wow.
Because when I talked to her, I wasn't putting the things together that it was this game.
Yeah.
It was 8 o'clock in the morning, you know, and so I may have asked her, like, she told me about the ref, but I didn't.
This all goes back to all these other games. Home teams don't have the right to cancel games.
Right.
And that's what Dunedin did, because Dunedin called Lehigh and told not to show up.
Okay, well.
Find out, told me, and then said, and we are, because we saw, I think they got that phone call, they looked at the schedule, it said postponed, so she said, we called all our players too. So I knew neither one was going to show up, so they Pearson just trying to save the ref driving over there.
I would have much rather the ref gone there and we would have paid the ref. I mean, we've got to stop calling and canceling games until everything is in a row and we got our pieces together.
And Dave Peterson did go, just in case anybody showed up. And
Right. Well, fortunately, Dave doesn't live too far from Dunedin.
Yes, just there.
Here's the deal. That what? Dave Adkins is a good guy, but as a referee, you've declined other games,
Yes.
other opportunities to work other games. And that guy.
And I don't even know if there were any ARs assigned. Well, then so it's, no, look who's the signer for Dunedin. He won't use that soccer, so we have no idea.
So anyway,
All the rest of them we paid, yeah, Demetrius.
The club put it in. Club can put it in.
Oh, not ours, yeah, okay.
The finding. $350 to Dunedin.
Cancellation of a game.
And we'll pay the rest, but we think that he complained about that rest, so we know who he is. We don't pay Pop.
Well, he emphasized to our signers, says, hey, guys, look, these guys, we'll get them paid and we'll get the money back to the club because they get a call, Dave calls the guy 2 hours before kickoff and says, hey, this game's dead. No.
Yeah.
They could, where else is there? There's games everywhere in Pinellas County.
Oh, there is?
There was somebody working 4 games that day.
I have a question. I mean, that Dunedin coach obviously didn't like the referee.
No.
Was there anything
The issue had to do with, at a previous game, something in the field. Either one field was behind schedule, and they had to change fields, and the referee went and talked to the DOC, said, go, move this game, whatever, And so the referee went back and said, we're moving over here, and the coach didn't like it. That's what set the whole thing up.
Right, see, this is, I mean, something that's really weird. I mean, you got a coach from the team going against the director of coaching. And that to me is already a weird thing. So,
John, the room with him,
deal. He's got
deals.
So when it's that $350 bill, because you coach. It's your coach.
I don't know what the issue was with the field. I really don't. It doesn't matter. But I've been a site director, and I've had to move games because of an injury on this. Games a half hour behind.
A week ago.
We're moving.
Yeah, they moved that. They're like, whatever. Because, supposedly there was an adult league game going on, or, whatever. This was a Sunday makeup game. No, but we're getting her moving for nothing, I mean, it seems like.
It's just weird.
It's whatever. Why are we making a big deal about it?
Normally you would think this was gonna be a weight team.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And when sometimes you don't say, they get picky about good enough to come on. I can get a point of clarification on this team.
The thing is, the DOC says,
No, I get that. What I'm saying is, we come paying the rest for games that are forfeit or whatever, they need to be paid, I get that. But are we paying them for the fact that they did have, we are paying them because they did have to possibly, like you said, turn on another game or whatever? So what I'm saying, and I get that, and that's fine, but is that kind of double dipping if we notify them and still pay them? No, we shouldn't pay those, they got out of it. That's what I'm saying, okay, that's why I want a point of clarification. Right. If a referee, so what difference if they show up or not? I get only because we don't have to be involved, is that what you're saying? We don't have to.
we shouldn't be involved.
Shouldn't be involved at all.
Okay, so
The club should be paying the rest.
I got that, but so the $350 is our fine, or the $350 is, I thought it was $250.
And $100.
And $100 for their free, okay, that's the point of clarification.
If
That's what I thought, I just wanted to.
If the away team does,
So if they had shown up and paid, we'd only be charging.
yes, right.
Okay.
That's not just because we're paying the rest.
Okay. Organizations.
Sure, West Florida Flames, what's the game number, or it's in the chat logs or something? It's the last minute game change request with West Florida Flames.
Yes.
The support ticket. You know this one? Hopefully you can tell me which it is. That's 6-8? Oh, yeah, here it is. Fort Myers. This is North Fort Myers, but this is an issue of we may agency semifinal, so we'll not be able to play the game this weekend. Now, this is a problem because it's like the third one for this weekend. They knew when the region cups were, they shouldn't have scheduled this game for they shouldn't have scheduled 2 games for one day. In Region Cup, you know the dates and you shouldn't be scheduling a game for those days.
I agree with you. I agree. If you're in Region C, and the deadline is in January or something like that, know your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So even before the schedule is posted, our schedule is posted, Region Cup schedule, State Cup schedule is posted. So taking my team to State Cup, States. That's how I'm looking at it.
And it's, I mean, we've got a rep assigned and everything. And now, well, no, this is for this weekend. It's for 15.
When did you say?
They noticed it on the 11th that they can't play the game on the 15th. Yeah, but they knew the dates for Region Cups, and this is something we've got to look at. All the reps that are going to hit the fan. There's a bunch. When they set up the schedule, they knew they entered Region Cup, so they knew Region Cup dates. I'll be doing things. I know. I gotta stop doing that. So this game for 3:15. Saying they can't make it to the finals of Region Cup. So it's 3:15.
That's right.
Yeah. So we're,
Why are we questioning that?
well, what? Because there's so many of them, and it's clear. If we don't get it clear with you, then they're gonna come back and complain, and we're gonna have a protest next month. So Sherry and I do here administratively.
So tell them they can forfeit or show up.
Right. They can force show up. But
Right, just one time, you're right. Still.
Definitely gonna be a fine, because
And I'm not giving anybody.
And it seems that this is the team that said that their fields were being,
Way close.
but I contacted the club and that was St. Carlos. St. Carlos?
yeah,
Well, that,
we told them they had to play.
and then we found out that the game, that it wasn't. I mean, just the coach said something doesn't make it true.
Yeah, and then he wrote back and said, okay, we'll do it.
No, they said, please don't email my board. Well, I'd already done that. So they must have let me know that they were not happy with his line.
There's a new one in the,
I did. I emailed the board, but he actually attached it. Yes. And I got it.
Oh, where's the ash?
Sure, I done it.
then there's another one in the, schedule touches the very same scenario. It's all on the same thing.
All right, go pull it up. It's in the,
Seeing it said, if we would pay the rest, he would move it, but, not,
this,
that's, 1037.
10, oh, I see it. 10, Lake Wales and Largo, right, because Lake Wales was here. Right.
Yeah, 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
This is the very same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that there, but you can,
Lake, did he leave?
I think that was,
He was the reason. So, 1037.
tell them the same thing, you can forfeit.
Or show up.
Or show up.
Mm-hmm. That's on all these.
Actually, the schedule, this is, I don't know if
I don't know that much more.
Was it an email that you got? I'm trying to read.
I can change it, but maybe that's what I was.
What's this one? No, it's an approved one. I want to show you all something. When somebody says that they don't understand how to use this thing, I want you to see how many approved game changes we've had this year. give it, and it's going to, I want you to see how many there are. Hundreds of them.
Approved.
A game change request. When people say they don't know how to use it, or it's complicated, these are all the games that we have changed this year.
Wow.
Proper procedure.
Got it right, is what you're saying? Did I get it within the 21 days? Well, in my understanding, although, you know, sometimes it's being fellowship, if it's not proper procedure, we're finding it, right?
That's why we've got to be consistent, and I'm
You're
telling
right.
you.
Well, you will open Pandora's box if you say.
And this many people did it plenty early, or at least
Does
2
become
weeks.
a procedure.
As Commissioner questioning on proper procedure, I said procedure, proper procedure, rules. Follow the rules, that's proper procedure.
This is the side note, isn't it? But when we were talking about before with the Disney, we call Paul, the one that told me to call.
Yeah.
So I think it's clear that.
It's just, we've got to firm up on this so that, you know,
Easier for me as a trainer,
to be, it needs to be.
because then I can train what it is. This is great.
Out the web.
I don't know what it is. Let me see if I have something like.
See if you got something in your email, we'll go on. I've got rule changes, but then there's stuff that we've got issues with because they're in violation of USA rules. So I don't know what you want to do about them, but let me explain the issue. Last year, used unsafe press. And it's clear, I mean, it was proven, Marina one that told us we had to deal with it. They had certified reps. Right, and there was a lot of issues with that. We've also had 2 coaches. We've suspended from all USA games for all season for using extreme language. One was racial slurs. I forget the other one was, but it was really horrible. Had to use our requirements for Auburndale to play with us this year was that they got soccer for a signing so that we know that all the ARs and the U10s were certified. They told us that they were not doing that. So I pulled up the schedule, and this is the reason some people don't like got soccer, because we know what's going on. And a lot of kids don't like got soccer because they get caught when they lie. Anyway, so when we look at the beginning, you see the ARs are filled in? See how the center is in the system? Started using it at the beginning of the season. But look at this as we go on. Now we're in September, and all of a sudden, these disappear. You're not using it for the U10. Remember, the centers are all assigned by Dave Deegan. So they quit soccer as we required them. So, with that they've got, that they don't control their coaches, and they very seldom, even though I think they heard us talking, because brought this up at a meeting, and I pulled this up, and that's why we know about it. We pulled up the January meeting, I think. What to do with Auburndale, because we told them we can do that. We just need to notify them now. We can't make them, we can notify them in July.
No, we can't. We notify them when we get the registration.
Yeah, we don't know by.
We don't have to notify them.
Yeah, but that's.
Or maybe April, 30 days.
We can give them a heads up, say, look, I mean,
Well, no, what I'm pointing at, it's going to affect the kids, all right? Those are the insurance.
that's tough.
No, I just.
What you want to put up with it?
Let them go to West Club, let them go to CDL. CDL can.
Well, no, what they can do is go to play GCS.
What is
If
that?
they're going to play with somebody, they need to know enough that we can make plans to do something else if we're not going to let them affiliate with us next year.
Right.
I have a problem with the letter saying,
Based on your performance
Mhm.
and failure to follow our USA League, your Yeah, will not deny allowance for US.
Oh, and that's for all three clubs that are now up. I was just for all three clubs.
Yeah, right.
Arlington, Players Club, and
Well,
Minnesota.
Minnesota's a little bit different, but
Issues down there, period.
I know they do, but I don't know what we can document. But definitely Players Club, because they're allowing they're snubbing Great Beaver, aren't they?
I mean, we've been very tough with finding and following
Mhm.
those procedures, and we always, and the only recourse we really do have to say, we don't want you in, right, as a club.
Yeah.
Because you can't advise that if you plan on filing for an application with USA, you will be denied.
Mhm.
In our league, your, they go, 2014, 15.
And Sherry will definitely be the one to send that out, right, Sherry? She is so politically correct. I'm too blunt.
Again, what I'm doing, sorry.
Okay. And
We're
just
throwing all we're doing out.
In a very politically correct way.
I'm telling them they're not going to be, their affiliation for next year will not be approved.
To
They don't make,
if the current, if they plan on applying to our league and for 2014-15 season, they will be denied.
Right, both of them.
And what was the reason?
No, but I want to bring up something that would be on there.
Minnesota, they make a.
Auburndale is because they started the season using God Soccer so that we could see that they were using certified referees, and then they quit doing it. So we're not using God Soccer as we required because of their previous history of uncertified refs, which is documented.
Uncertified.
I didn't tell them all that.
Oh, yeah. And the other is they have two coaches that are suspended for their say, and we have seen that they've taken action to correct their coaches' behavior. It's both of those, and they're,
Steve is making the motion. Second.
I second.
All in favor?
and who second? Okay, then it's Minnesota. I know there's issues, but I mean, what we can document. Well, if y'all got valid reasons to kick us, one thing. If we don't do that and we keep them in, I want it definitely that they are required to have all of their players, coaches' pictures in God Soccer. Because we got a series of photographs from that incident, and we didn't match anybody up because Minnesota doesn't have one picture in God Soccer. It's anything for them to do. If there's something else y'all want to do, that's fine.
Infractions, year after year. I mean, everything. I mean, we had coaches here.
Mhm.
They were, we had police out like, what I don't know, 2-3 times a year for their games. I mean,
We already suspended once.
with, they didn't even belong to the club. They just show up with a car and they give a pass. They get a kid out of the neighborhood. I remember that. We had I get there, and the players, they just, they just run it on. Okay, you go on.
Or thing, you're like,
But it happened this year?
Well, I know we did something else.
This year was pretty strict. We checked him in all through region stuff. Every one of the passes was laminated, pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky has been through it and knows. All right. The other teams, I'm not sure about. Vicky's seen me back there. So they read it all the way through. So they won't be back.
Notify, I mean, I don't know what y'all want to do. I'm just
maybe
throwing out suggestions. Maybe put them on.
What's the probation warning kind of thing? I know crossing, what is what's the evidence against them? Do we have we have just listed bullet points for Auburndale. Do we have bullet points for?
Other than the fight and the fact that they don't have pictures, and that's why I'm saying at minimum I want pictures in God Soccer, or if they don't do that, I don't want them back.
I would,
Because we can't catch anybody up.
Yeah, but did we make everybody else put pictures and got something?
They haven't had fights.
But not the question.
Mm-hmm.
Can't discriminate with
Right.
the club,
I'm going to remind them that has, according to USA rules,
It's not the past.
well, according to USA rules, all players should have a recent picture of God Soccer.
can do, I'm fine with that.
We'll write in, it'll be a couple proposals.
Okay.
Now we're starting to sound like that one.
That's the thing with the rule.
Now you can, well,
We
in the other game, we had the parents were fighting, but the coaches and the players were okay.
That's correct. The police will call, however,
The parents,
because the,
not of the kids and the referee.
There was no action.
yeah, well, parents, I mean, the kids that scored the goal that they took down, the player, but he was suspended, we suspended the player for 4 games, but then the parents ran on the field. However, parents did run on the field. So we've got and that started it. Unfortunately, what escalated the fight was the photographer with the team. The photographer taking all those pictures instead of that the parents to act up to the camera.
We wonder why our.
Oh, well, we've got the pictures. Oh, you want to see pictures?
No, I got it,
I don't want to put it out.
No, I can't. After those balls.
Yeah.
I
See,
get it.
because of that incident and the police were called, we put them on probation.
I feel we have a legitimate case for probation. You know, I don't think you have some that are kicking them out.
No.
I mean, like you said, we already kind of put Auburndale on probation. Coming into this year, it's kind of like, hey, you got to get your act together, blah, 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 blah. You didn't get we have registered signers that didn't want to do your club because I didn't have any. Hey, you know what, we're done, we're cut up, we're not put them anymore. This, I think we're with this club like we were with Auburndale last year.
Right. Put on probation.
Put them on some kind of probation, maybe.
Since they're on probation, we're going to require them to have pictures in soccer as a condition of probation. What difference?
Events that have happened that we need to be able to identify.
Just,
No. Probation for,
Probation and pictures for minutes.
you have to explain to them why.
it's a fight.
Yes, I had last year, Minnesota team had 4 in their game. Ended the game with 7 players. I mean, I was standing in the middle between the dishes. The coach was okay. He tried to get the end of the time. I swear. That's for that was the last.
But just put them on notice, they got to control their talent.
Until, 10 o'clock, I was sitting at the office until they were leaving. Look at you.
No, they chased Jack. They chased.
That was Jozar.
That was at the 15th. You were really long. I think he was 17 or whatever. Yeah. They had players that were like 21. Oh, I'm like, those pictures. I mean, we got a picture, all right. I went way back. We went to games. I mean, U14 games. They show up with the cards. Yeah, they're pulling up themselves. I mean, they're not forced to come. I'm telling you, they're trying. That's true. But you know what? When you asked him, What's that?
The West Florida claims thing that you emailed me, that is the same exact thing in the Region Cup.
It's the Region Cup, so game number.
There was no.
There was no game number. Okay.
I'll just reply this thing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, 2 things we got to discuss. One is our list of possible rule proposals next year, and Sherry needs a new computer.
Yes, it does.
She has a computer.
That's fine, you should be able to.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I think-
Whoa, there's the answer.
Everyone.
Check that.
Yeah, and we will.
My check will be right, no worries, but yeah.
Sherry needs a new one. I think needs to get one as much as I'm struggling with Windows 8. That is the way that they're going.
None is compatible with the old program. Is not
But
compatible.
no, not. But the online stuff that she's doing, it works great.
Oh, no, I know that.
And I've got Windows 8. I'm going to have to upgrade quick because the QuickBooks 2012 isn't working with Windows 8. But as you're going down the future, the new stuff is going to be compatible with Windows 8. Including Word, which is now Microsoft. You buy the yearly fee. You buy it once, and then you're stuck with that version. But if you want to keep it up,
Oh, you want to keep it upgrading? Okay.
that's what it did. So we need to tell Sherry what it is we want her to buy. But it needs, yeah.
So without
My recommendation is, I'm not going to be about a $2,000 possible idea, but for all the work that she's doing on it,
make sure that she.
It needs to be the high operating system. I paid $1,000 for this one, just under $1,000 for this one, and I've got the 7 point something. I forget George went through with the memory and the.
well, memory we can upgrade easy. Because now it's, Windows 8 runs on New York.
Lots.
An old computer.
Yeah, she's
No,
got.
but there's.
Oh, he's gonna need.
Between the Sony Vaio, like that, and the 2014 model Windows 8.
Yeah.
You know, idea what the about their cost?
I don't know that I need anything that fancy, but.
Well, the thing is, if we can,
What's the issues? I
I'm gonna log into Got Soccer and do stuff.
Since when are the computers, the Windows machines more expensive than Apple? I mean, then get a Mac. I use a Mac.
Well,
Feel comfortable.
I'm gonna have to learn how to use that.
But it's much easier and most of the programs don't.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'll learn something new.
Yeah, she's got enough stress she's going.
Research something and figure out what would work and back to us. That's all.
Okay.
Because we have what we know we're gonna approve something. Just give us like 2 or 3 estimates on what.
Like Facebook.
Well, we've got rewards with Staples, so I mean, all things being equal, Staples is the place
I
to
tell
go
you
with
what,
our
you know what,
rewards.
I keep it on the Staples and Office Depot, and they get the new models in, they discount, I mean, a rocket ship of a computer, and they'll put it on because it's last year's model.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I think that's good, you might be able to get more of a computer, but maybe it's a little older model, like you said.
I'll put something together.
Windows 8
But
is
you have to make sure it's that one.
It's now, just 2 updates.
8.1.
In fact, that is,
Saying you want to have one.
I think so, because the newer programs, as you go when you get to them, you read,
Let's go check it out.
yeah, I'll get that. And I'm gonna be having to do QuickBooks. I'm gonna be spending $200 probably a year for QuickBooks. Because that's what the QuickBooks doesn't work well with it. I can PDF and a few other things I can't do. I use QuickBooks for the accounting for the treasurer.
Yeah, PDF mine, and load online, PLC, for membership. Yeah, you know what? My wife has got her a couple of years ago. She got connected.
Yeah, Let me go, okay. Frank, what do you do?
Are you just doing group cleaner?
Yeah.
If you guys don't, I'm gonna excuse myself, I have chemo at 8 in the morning.
Oh,
So I gotta get a little bit of sleep, or it's gonna be a rougher day than already it's gonna be.
yeah, and I'll get
Unless
back
I don't
with you.
do any input.
I'll get back with you on.
Yeah, and I got most of the notes, and I'll type up the minutes, but if I miss anything, like, we'll just try. Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. I gotta get a little bit of sleep.
These are the rule proposals that we have just chatted amongst ourselves, and you all may have more that you want, but we've got to be ready to present something. Want to go through briefly what we've come up with? I said to Paul, who was upset with the guest player rule? Part of it was that long, huge explanation. You know, who could play for what, you know, and I sent it to him and took rules and did it in red line, is that we remove the secondary players because that's very confusing, and just go with guest players. Yeah.
Right, what's the difference?
Go with guest players. Now, the guest players we're going to go and use the club pass terminology for guest players because that's the way FYSA and soccer have set up for within the same club. Guest players within the same club. It's club pass. No, the pass is, club pass is not a pass.
Yeah.
Club means the player is a guest player from within the same club. Has nothing to do with the pass.
Can we change that terminology a little bit so that does?
No, we can't change it because that's FYSA and USU. It comes from USU.
Okay, but we probably need to put a little explanation, maybe in a parentheses.
No, I've already,
Because that, you know, that, it's not, you know,
Has
they're
nothing to
looking
do-
at God Doctor or something with, like, you know, club.
no, there's no pass involved, but there is a place where the registrar or anybody with access to the club
Yeah.
pass
Yeah.
can put the player on the roster as a club pass
Player, slash.
No.
Way out there.
club pass player.
That's a guest player.
It's a guest player because FSA rules, and so is USU.
Maybe just put guest player in parentheses next to club.
I've rewritten it all. You don't see it here, but I sent it to Paul.
Explanatory.
But that's what it has to be because Soccer will let you, the new players, onto the roster, and they'll show as a CP player on the roster.
As opposed to writing it in.
Exactly. Now, next thing is, what I'm thinking, Yeah.
Fully put that into the rules.
oh, I've got it all written in there.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll show you next month, or I'll send it out to you. It's horrible. That's why it has to be that way. The other thing is, because we cannot get the roster from the referee, and email specifically, I mean, first I start with the, and some will contact the referees and say, please do it. Others won't. Horrible time with some of our assigners getting information. Then they won't follow up with their referees. But some of the referees have even emailed me and said, I threw it away. I don't have it.
Right.
After a game, I don't have the game card. So I believe that we need to have a guest player form, which I've already created, club pass form, that where the coach is going to say that players eligible based on these UA rules, and he gives a form to the opposing coach, that we don't have to worry about getting it from the referee.
The only problem I'm going to have with that is manipulating our score. But
How do we know that the other coach didn't?
Because they're going to be listed on the roster. This form does is say this player is eligible because of, and it'll check off the eligibility, which is our form for each player. All to do is he's on the B team, get playing with an A team, or he's younger playing up. That's the things that they're going to be checking off.
So you say, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That, we're still trying. How many of those teams, how many coaches are there out there? We're trying to get them to do that. I'm more
Mm-hmm.
about accountability to the people we pay.
Mm-hmm.
If as a player, I
pay the assigner his game fee, the game cards.
I think we have to mandate that these referees, mandate that these referees, the game card immediately.
So,
within 24 hours.
The assigner, you're signing for our league, you agree, here it is, here's what we're paying you. And so we gotta go in and make sure these game cards are sent in.
But the
Because
game,
then we narrow
mhm.
people we have to deal with and control.
Okay. The game reports come to Got Soccer. That's not a problem. The problem is the game card is sent into a address and have access to it. It's me, and it means I'm the one that's going to have to track them all.
Okay, well, wait, a game not submitted, it's not getting paid. That's, it beats me. After the first few games that no game cut, you have to sign it like a signing. We do,
Okay.
We'll explain that. So how many people we gotta control? 5 people? Yeah.
7.
So, we don't worry about 70
Yeah, that's
or
true.
107.
That's true.
We only gotta worry about 7 people. I mean, this is what we used to do when it was still paperwork. Yeah. You bring for
Unfortunately, we never did it. It was in the rules, and 2 assigners may have turned the paperwork, but nobody ever checked it. Because when we had the issue with Demetrius, we couldn't get game reports. We couldn't get reports from Roger, and they got paid anyway.
The only one
The board decided to pay him.
was Tony Mueller.
Tony Mealy,
I was schlepping I got the report, like, I got 5 texts from Tony, and it was in my garage for 2,000.
We have to hold, I'm sorry, but we have to hold these designers a lot more accountable than we're holding them. They're controlling us, and we're not controlling them. And I know they're hard to find, and I know they're not.
We had people wanting to be assigners, and there's some assigners like to be replaced because
Because,
they're,
when we do have issues with referees,
Mhm.
like they are not good or whatever,
you can pay a sign for $5,000, $6,000.
okay, here's the thing, if we don't pay our fine, like we just said,
Right.
who should hold responsible? The coach, the club,
the club.
right? Okay, so, we're getting
Okay, so,
from coaches that are saying, how dare you assign this person, and how dare you assign that person that screwed up this game last time, but it's not really us, it's the assigners that we are using, a better term. So we then have to, and why did you sign Joe Smith to the team after totally 33 games or whatever?
FSR level, we always, any over the assigners. But right, because you know who they work for? The league. So,
if you all are going to
I'm
support
definitely
it,
okay with
if you're going to support it so that I'm not out there on a limb I'm afraid of being out there on a limb by myself on
it.
this.
Tell them I brought it up.
So y'all,
Make a motion.
if y'all are going to work with me, then it won't be so bad.
Linda, you've never been by yourself.
Okay.
We had it, and then we got less.
Mhm.
So what? And, but you see what happens.
Oh.
Okay. So now, look. Well, it's gonna come to us and we go, oh, by the way, here it is. Game card. Well, we're not game card this year.
And look, the thing I'm afraid of is I think you're trying to find more accountability with that other form. But we just got finished mind-blowing thing, there is no more other form or guest player form. I know it's not the same form, but now we're gonna go back to saying, I think we have to hold assigners more than the coaches. They're just finally getting used to realizing that we don't need a form.
Now, here, the coaches come and go. Here, you got a different.
Right.
Assigners are usually in there for a long time. And if Tony Mealy can get it done,
Oh, he can.
as nice as the hippie is, he is.
Right.
Anybody can get it done.
Let me tell you something, and here's the best. So, more about Got Soccer.
Then I,
Any,
Oh, that's just what it is. Yeah.
any assigner in the state.
So they're hit by his, question
Question him on Got Soccer.
he knows the answer, because he
think
that's fine, you know, but we have the game cards submitted,
Mhm.
whether it's email or through whatever that is.
if we're having the game card, grand player pass, the form,
Mhm.
we all want that name on the game card?
Well, it's gonna be on there as a club pass player.
Yeah, okay, but I think what we're gonna have to do with that is we're gonna have to lean the club into that
Mhm.
this coming year, and then maybe make it an official.
Well, that means that the registrars are gonna have to work, which are getting paid anyway, another paid positions,
Mhm.
which are, there's very few and
Not all, but.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna work this up in the rule and I'm gonna send it out to you.
Well,
Okay?
the assigner will just be part of their contract.
Yeah, that's what we'll put.
Here's the deal too, the signers and the
Mhm.
game card. Iowa signers, they send game card to your email and their assigner's email.
Well, what I thought I'd do, since this is what we're
They
doing,
can check them off.
well, what I do is I have it where they would actually upload it on the USA website, and I have it
Yeah.
done by the 6th of
Just
March,
review for,
the Joan Judd, and it would send it to the
that would be the
assigner.
quickest way
this is they can scan it,
to get the receipt.
they can scan it,
Mhm.
and send
Right, and it would go straight to the assigner, and would have a record of who they came in. Now, you're gonna have the referees that go, I can't scan, but it's like,
that's all I can.
Well, you have a free program, Cam Scanner.
You know what, you wanna be a referee as part of your business.
it's part of your business, you're getting money.
Independent contractor.
Mhm.
Well, you wanna
You're
do-
getting paid, and they're getting paid.
Or find a way to scan.
Well, you know, it's up to the assigner to work with those referees to get them in.
But as long as you're gonna be behind it and tell the referees and the signers, this is what we're gonna do, so they're not gonna, because I'm
It should be in their contract.
sorry,
And, you know, if we don't, I don't say, I don't know what their fees are or anything, I don't know what they make.
we pay the assigner $6 a game.
So now we're holding them accountable, they will do this,
Mhm.
they will do that, and it's a 60 game or something like that. I don't know, if you wanna look at the.
I wouldn't have a problem throwing 50 cents in there.
Let's go to 7.
I would be happy with 7. It was more of an incentive. No, because remember, we cut down where we got 7 assignments. I want, we only had 4.
I can look at it and
I know there's one, 7.
More.
Yeah, but it's split up. They're only average.
Coaches more, don't give me no break.
Look, I've got the February tally.
It's just a great place. $300 a week.
Ned had 13 games last month, Deegan had 31, Peterson 63, Tony 72, so Tony's getting $432 for February, 53, Hugo 24, and Pam 10.
You see, I think we gotta split up that February.
They have other issues.
Yeah.
Other issues with, yeah.
So, you know what, it's so, but if we're gonna put, I think if we're gonna put this hammer on them, that says, okay, we'll compensate you for it, and we need this to run our league.
And,
They're our catch point. Now, we said we don't have representative at the game,
nope, we
the
don't.
referee is our representative, right? So if our referee is our representative, who controls the referee? So we need, that's a little bit ongoing.
Okay.
Is responsible for their coaches. Exactly right. And, you know, like you said, you know, Don Tobin says, join, you know what, coach, you do it. And Don was smart enough, he would say, you know what, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to coach here. Fine. All right.
I mean, the rest,
So, I make a motion that we hold the assigners accountable for game cards, and then we, you know, if you say raise their fee by $1, and they will not get paid until the game card.
or and we will, and they're gonna.
And if it doesn't get paid, put in, then they don't get paid.
I think we
And it's the game card, I don't care about that paper game report, it's the game card.
I think we continue with sending out an email saying that we will be accepting requests for signers.
Yeah, you know,
No, I don't know. My feeling is on the assigners,
like it is.
if the assigners that are doing a good job, we need to be, we shouldn't say their job is over. we should only put out for those that we think are a problem,
Right. And you know, we got a good group now, right?
except for Jim. I agree.
Two. I mean,
C3 is a problem, and vegan. Oh, he just stays vegan, C4.
they, career,
Mm-hmm.
but he's probably actually half, you know, for the interview. Like,
Well, he's very flippant with sharing that,
well, hell,
Yeah.
very flippant, and,
yeah, come to Jesus meeting.
I would not put Dave Ziegler at the top of my list. I would put the other two at the top of my list. Has 4 years of experience. And the other one.
Oh, those
Yeah.
two guys,
yeah, I mean, Pam's
well,
the
they
one.
weren't doing it last year. We have a problem, right?
Yeah.
This year,
Yeah.
Major.
It was, Pam's the one that went to FYSA about the Northport, Minnesota game, instead of coming to us.
What had actually happened.
Yeah, she did, but she had
Not
no,
going to FYSA.
but that's what she did, she read your email.
No, she wasn't going to FYSA. She received the things from the past, and she was supposed to receive
Worked for us,
She was just asking them what needed to be.
she worked for us.
You guys have an outcome out of it and what?
Well, we need to have a signer meeting
With those seven,
the board. And here's the rules, here's what we're gonna do, and here we go.
Because-
Y'all on board? Fine, y'all work for us. Who are they?
Mhm.
Okay, great, then you correspond with us.
All right, well, you know, everybody else has to be called to the table and accountable for their errors too. Not everybody ganging up on one side.
well,
Right.
yeah, but I see that as one, it's just, it was a huge embarrassment for us to have to explain to FYSA what was going on, because
That's because Paul was answering, the first person that parent contacted was Paul. The email, Paul sent her like 3 emails saying there's nothing we can do about it, you know, going on and on and on and on how he does, and this is the soccer and whatever. And prompted the parent to go to YSA in the first place because nobody knew about it. It was just going between her and Paul. And that Paul didn't do anything about it. It never would have gone to FYSA if he had taken care of it away. Given a little bit more attention rather than just buck like another irate parent because.
So we still have a referee liaison.
I believe she copied Carlos on, maybe she, but.
See, the thing is, we have to take our things away from FYSA.
yeah.
They won't take things out of 15 years experience with them,
Yes.
10 years experience with them.
Another thing, there's obviously some problem between FYSA and us.
Well,
There always has been.
I know.
There will be.
Yeah.
There will. And there's other clubs, not only us.
The kids, right?
that's how everybody,
It's a fact.
everybody has problems with it.
And if you're their radar,
Yeah.
which I think, yeah,
I don't, I see that.
I can't get it to our,
let me go through the rest of them. That one, I will say there's a $500 limit for the checks that the treasurer can write. The issue is not the limit for checks. The issue is expenditures. In the past, we've had board members charge Luke, well, we've got to pay for it. If we don't write checks anymore, it's all done electronically. I pay the bill electronically, $3,000 a month.
so where you going?
It needs to be clarified that in the $500 limit on checks, it needs to be, expenses need to be approved in advance by the board.
No problem.
Yeah, all right.
Instead,
What the,
it's,
that's it.
right, the treasurer can pay the expense. Expense is the
So
issue.
you just, it's a more clean up the verbiage.
Mhm.
You're just cleaning up the verbiage.
Right, because we've had issues where board members have numbered this organization for things we never should have paid for, but we were,
In our credit card.
Right, exactly. The meeting in the fall will be mandatory, and if coaches are not there, they will not retain their seating. Because like last year, we had Houston Dynamo roster. The roster for Plants changed, and then they claimed first division. And we'd already looked at Houston Dynamo, but at the meeting, Carl and I dealt with Houston Dynamo.
Well, I tell you what, no, that changed the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
We had all set,
Oh, yeah, we did.
okay? And then, well, we can do this.
Well, they can't flag the ball.
Mhm, they did.
Well, yeah,
So we have a attorney to say,
Mhm.
that will come with one.
And if it's a roster question,
I know.
they're not there.
We don't show up to our whole conference meeting.
Mhm.
They find mistake.
Mhm.
We have to go to that point to say, you don't have someone, in addition to what you're saying,
Mhm.
that we, just like a team that doesn't show up for a game, I mean, can we say?
Yeah, we can start
You're gonna have a $500 fine if you don't send a representative?
We can make it.
I don't know, $500 is a figure, I know, squad, I mean, if you say, you know what, you're gonna get fined a $500 fine for not coming, or we ask them
Mhm.
a lot of some sort, I mean, I think, you know, I think we're, what was your 250, what was your 13? It's nothing. I say, we charge, I mean, I don't see why we even have to worry about paying the referees, why we don't collect the freaking referee fees at the beginning of the year. I know it's hard to tell a little bit based on the fact we don't always know exactly the number of games we're gonna have. Each club's gonna, pick a lot. I mean, I know maybe this is a thinking moment, I know it's a collective bond. You know, we talked about, even at our club now, saying that we're gonna start charging, we're gonna start charging team fees.
Mhm.
How that team pays it, the club is gonna ask for a certain amount of money from each
Mhm.
amount of player, and that's your fee. Now, we want this person to pay 1,000 and this person to pay 500 because they can't afford it. I don't care what you do. Or you go get scholarship money, you go get scholarship, you go in a corporate chain and pay for money or whatever. With being said, you know, I think we need to start leaning towards that, saying, you know, that we
How much
have
of a fine? How much of a fine?
I said 500 just off the top of my head, but I don't know. I think they're closer or more. 250, 250, 300.
But definitely,
But don't forget, I mean, the biggest thing on that is, he's not there. You know,
But on top of it, but
I come back a week later and say, oh my God, I mean, you know, I didn't want to be Division 3, I want to be Division 1.
No,
You're not there.
you're up the court, you're at the mercy of
exactly.
All scheduling and division placement will be final, period.
If you're not there, and you're supposed to be in Division 1 because you won Division 1 last year,
No, you lose, we're going exactly how it works.
I will work it.
You've become a new team to us.
Mhm.
Right. We'll control you how we feel we need to control you. You don't have to represent us. On top of that, your club will be fined $300. Right. And it might be to our advantage because we need another team in Division 1. Oh, yeah, that worked out just fine. We're going to get one check out of it, $300. So, you know,
Okay, the fees,
you know, you will be treated if we will. If you want to start a home account, you got a home account.
yep, I agree. Fee will be due July 1st and August 1st. This last year, we had a third in each group, straddle in between the due date and the coaches meeting. We didn't know what teams were going to be in what division, and it drove the fees crazy trying to put the teams in division. So we need that 2 weeks to team.
High school meeting. When is season start?
High school? We didn't know.
Oh, yeah, it's April, you're talking about districts?
Monday was the high school meeting. Oh, for the referees.
No, we have our.
But they know
next week or something.
They know when the schedule, referees know.
Well, we want to schedule it in
They know
April.
our schedule. Our schedule will start, our schedule starts October, first weekend in November, first weekend in November. It ends, like, really, it changes a little bit, but,
Usually no, the majority of our.
But what does that have to do with teams paying their fees? Like her, but you're,
The seniors, they've got a little ball, a lot of the coaches don't want them playing high school ball. And we've always had warrants who we,
We should have fixed that a little, because I've had a major problem with my senior team this year.
we've always had.
They're doing double duty and they can't.
Yeah, and then they only have 1 week where they can't touch the ball,
So, I mean, I think we can give you a date, but that's not probably like, I mean, no, you're talking about the money.
I'm talking about the money in.
What now?
Okay. Here. He said that the money was due for the senior season July 1st.
Right.
Okay. We had 2/3 of the teams paid on July 1st.
Okay.
We're trying to put teams in division, and you didn't know what teams were
Right.
coming because a third of them hadn't paid.
Why not June 15th there as well?
No, the money's due July 1st, or you're not going to get put in division.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Because you need.
That's just a matter, we already have that, don't we?
No,
Where's it?
no, we collected because they were so used to bringing the money to the July meeting or the coaches meeting to pay for the team because of practices in previous years.
I don't know, we can't pay for it now. Why?
No, I agree with July 1st because June is Foster.
Yeah. But it's fine.
In August, we're just,
No, I think, I thought it was not enough time, I thought you wanted to.
no, I want the money due the day, we say there's a
I think
deadline.
in this day and age, and again, we're talking, change, and there's just gonna be used to it, but in this day and age, with now, credit card, you don't really have to even be at a meeting. You could just, you could end the thing, especially credit card. Yeah, right.
We're gonna make that a change, but we're gonna make it a change to AGM and let them know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put it in, it's not even a change, we're just gonna put it down,
Put it
in our rules, although
So
we
that-
said it.
Exactly, and that way,
So we don't make it,
mhm.
then they'll leave.
No, then we have the right to place them wherever.
Wherever we want, or not place them, and then they come in after, we place them wherever we can.
Or when they're shaking.
I will say, I think they, and will possibly not be added to the league if it creates an odd team situation or whatever.
I mean, they know when the stuff is
I'm gonna cut this.
Sure. When the stuff is due, because